Hello and welcome to the full video tutorial of the Google Sheets property flipping template. In this video, I'm going to go through page by page exactly how you need to set up and use this spreadsheet to use to manage your own personal property flipping business. So the first thing you'll see when you open up your copy of the template is this home page where you have these three different sections: your operational section, your business financial section, and then your property financial section. So the first thing that you'll want to do is to make sure that you have Hello and welcome to the Google Sheets property flipping template. Hello and welcome to the full video tutorial of the Google Sheets property flipping template. In this video, I'm going to go through page by page exactly how to use and get all the value out of this template. Hello and welcome to the full video tutorial of the Google Sheets property flipping template. In this video, I'm going to go through in detail exactly each one of the pages that are included in this template, as well as how to use them and set them up for your unique needs. Whenever you open up your copy, the first thing you'll see is this home page where you have the operational section, the business financial section, and the property financial section. This home page is built to make it very easy to navigate throughout the template, and each one of these pages is going to have a navigation directly back to this home page instead of having to use these tabs down at the bottom to find what you're looking for. It gets very complex when there's a bunch of tabs in the template. So under the operational section, this is where you'll be able to track your action items. So you can put in what the action item is, who's the owner of the action item, the target completion date, as well as the actual completion date, and any notes. And then you can just have this simple checkbox over here to track which items are still open and which ones have you already completed. The next page is the business accounts. So in your business account, you'll probably have access to where you're actually sourcing your deals from, whatever account you use for that, if there's any utility accounts, if there's any other types of financial accounts that you have, this is where you can keep track of all of those. In the contractor database, it's always good to have several different contractors of each type of trade to be able to tap at any point in time to help you work throughout your flip. So this already has a pretty comprehensive list, all the way from cabinets to masonry to property management to roofing to tiling. But I'll scroll through these quickly so you can see what's all included. And then there is an other section down at the bottom, but this is where you're going to have their business name. If there is an employer identification number you want to keep track of, where they're located, your contact info, all of that, so you don't have to figure out when you need some certain work done, who are you going to go to get that work completed. Then in the tools and resources section, this is if you have any type of deal analysis tools that you're using, or other resources like links to maybe the auditor's website or the recorder's website, anything that you're using on a regular basis, so you can track those accounts and resources there as well. And then on the deal analyzer page, one thing important to note is this template is specifically for property flipping. It's not intended to keep track of your rentals, but I did include in here at least a calculator for you to help value and analyze any potential rental properties that you'd like to do. So in here, and I won't walk through this exactly line by line, but you're going to put the information in about your investment, so how much money do you actually put on the table versus the value of the property, your loan financing details, how much you're expected to generate in monthly revenue from various revenue sources, and then all the expenses you expect to have. Now, the mortgage is going to be automatically calculated based on those financing terms that you've already entered, but the rest of these are going to be your best estimate of what you expect to pay. And then it'll give you your net monthly income as well as your annual income, and then it'll also show you a couple of key metrics that are used in the rental investment space, which are your capitalization rate and then also your return on your invested income. And then on the fix and flip calculator side, this is where you put your purchase amount of what you purchased the property at, if there's any closing costs associated with that purchase. And then I broke up the overall rehabilitation of the property into three different sections. There's the demo and cleanup section, or sorry, a few different sections, maybe more than three. The demo and cleanup section, so when you first get there, there's probably work you're going to need to do before you can actually start rehabilitating the property. Things like removing the junk. If there's wallpaper that needs to be removed, removing that. If there's a pole that needs removed or filled in, that type of information and that type of work. And then the actual rehab, if there's rehab on the roof, painting, trim work, cabinets. This gives you a pretty comprehensive list to make sure you're covering everything. If there's any home systems that need to be repaired or replaced, any appliances that you plan on purchasing before you list the property for sale, and then your carrying and operating costs while you're holding on to the property. So you're probably going to be paying interest either to investors or a loan you have on the property. You're going to have home insurance, your utilities, if there's any maintenance type of work like lawn care or snow removal. And then you're going to put in here your estimate of how many months you expect to carry that property. And then down in the sale section of the calculator, you're going to have in here what you expect to sell the property for, and then your best estimates for what you expect to owe in property taxes, commissions, title charges, recordings, and then if you expect to have any concessions, for instance, giving closing costs back to the buyer at the sale. If you have any investors in the property that have an ownership stake besides just getting interest on their loan, what is their ownership stake in the profit from the deal? And then this summary section is going to automatically calculate for you. It's going to show you your total purchase, your total rehab combined, your carrying costs, your closing costs, and how much you're going to owe your investors based on the profit you're expected to make. And then at the bottom, it'll show you what your capital gain and your return on your investment is expected to be. So this one's a really powerful tool whenever you're evaluating and analyzing what deals you might want to enter. Under the business financials, here you have the capital tracker. So this is tracking who's actually pushing money into the business. So here I just have some example investor names, but you can enter in for each one of them anytime they're infusing cash into the business, as well as whenever they're distributing cash from the business. So let's say John put $10,000 in on one day, and then you completed a deal maybe, whatever it is, and then John's going to cash out $5,000 from the business. So you just put that information in here, and then you can keep track of your investors or your partners' net capital contributions throughout your business life. Business income, pretty simple here. If you're generating income outside of anything from your typical investment properties, you want to capture that here as well. If you get things like bank interest or credit card rewards, you can keep track of those in here, or any other type of income your business generates. Any business expenses. And then next up is the mileage tracker, which will be important because you're going to want to keep track of any miles you're racking up for your business so you can use this as a deduction during tax time. So here you're going to enter in the first year that you purchased the template. So let's say you didn't purchase this until 2025. You would enter that in, and all these subsequent years are going to automatically populate there for you. And then whenever you're entering in your mileage, and I'll just put in a couple of dates here, January 1st, 2024, January 1st, 2025. Whenever you enter those into here, it's going to automatically assign those to the appropriate year. So this will say 50 miles for for 2024, and then 100 miles for 2025. So it automatically sorts that for you. You can continue to use this page for as many years as you like, and it'll continue to work properly for you. Then on the 1099 tracker, here is where you want to keep track of any contractors you need to pay, and all information that you're going to need to successfully and properly file their 1099s for them. So you'll have their business name, their contact name, if there's an agent on file that you want to keep track of, an entity number, their tax identification number, which will either be an employer identification number or their social security number, if they're just a sole proprietorship, the address of the business, what type of filing they have, whether it's an LLC or a trade name or whatever else it might be. And then if you have their W-9 on file, you have to file a W-9 as of 2024 for any contractors that you pay more than $600 to. And then you'll enter in the total number of their payments. So this, once we see the property flipping template section where you enter in your actual property financials, this is where you're going to go into for each one of your contractors and see how much you had paid them. And you'll enter that in for the years as well. And for this one also, you're just going to enter in the first year that you purchased the template, and then all other subsequent years are going to auto-populate there. And now for the main page. So there is a template here, which you should never edit. There's already 10 copies of this template linking out to your different properties. But for this one, you always want to keep this blank so that you can create future templates if you go over the 10 properties that the template is built to support by default. So here you have your property summary information. So you'll put in the address of the property, when you purchased it, the purchase price, as well as all this other just high-level information that you can use to keep track of your property. And then you'll typically have to have a certain number of utilities in your name while you're flipping and working on the project, so to keep track of your different utility services, the provider, the account number, so you have those readily available whenever you need to cancel those after getting rid of the property. And then this financial summary here is going to be automatically updated based on the below sections, but it's going to show you how much you spent on your sale price. It's going to have your purchase and sale cost, your carrying and operating cost, your rehab cost, and it's going to auto-calculate your profit and then your return on investment for that property. So just to enter in a couple pieces of information here, we'll say to purchase the property, you spent $100,000. You'll see this auto-update as we go. Of course, you would enter in the description, the date, the payment method that you used, as well as who you paid for the deal. And then you'll see these expense indexes, and the ones below have them as well, just for you to easily identify, if you're talking with your partners, which expense you're looking at. And then the carrying operating cost, I'll just throw in the number and say you spent $10,000 on carrying and operating. This would be things like utilities, if there's any maintenance on the property, if you're paying interest on a loan, all those things are considered your carrying and operating cost. Then your rehab costs, let's say you spent $50,000 rehabbing the property. Of course, you would be entering in line by line. Every time you purchase something or pay a contractor, you would put that information in there. And then one other thing to note at the bottom here, there is also a rehab checklist. So if you're considering doing a property, or maybe you've already purchased it and you want to just kind of plan out all the different steps that you're going to take to rehab this project, you can put those here in order, and you can track which ones are done, if there's any notes, and that information down below. But to go back up to the top, now let's say you'll see it's automatically populated all that information. Let's say you also sold the property for $200,000 when you were done with it. So now we can see here you had a profit of $40,000 and a return on your investment of 25%. So whenever you're using this for your own properties, instead of just leaving this home page as the generic links of property 1, 2, 3, 4, if you want to put something more descriptive in there, you can always just delete this number and then put in instead, say, the address of the property that you're working on, so you can easily identify which ones they are. Just make sure whenever you're doing that, you don't accidentally delete the entire contents of this. If you do that and then you try to type in the address, it's going to actually take away that link, which makes it less useful. So whenever you're editing it, just make sure you keep the name property in there, and then you can put the street address of the property. Thank you for watching. If you feel like you got value out of this video, or if you know someone who could get value from it as well, please go ahead and share the video with them. And if you want to keep an eye out for other templates that I'm going to be releasing in the future, as well as financial educational videos, please go ahead and give this video a like if you liked it, and then also please go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to be notified for future videos. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.